Welcome everybody. My name is Mikko Nykyri. I'm product manager here at InterVision, and I'm joined here by my esteemed guest Sudheer Matta, who is the SVP of Product at Juniper Mist. And today we will go through how to rapidly adopt AI-driven networking with InterVision and Juniper Mist. So without further ado, let me just actually provide you the agenda here on what we're going to go through here. So the agenda today will be all about just reviewing the new state of networking. What is changing? What's new? Why do we need to have a new approach to managing networking? Then we'll go through Juniper's journey to AI native networking. It's really interesting. Sudheer is going to take us through that. Have a demo of actually looking at how AI native networking looks like, and then close up with an overview on how do we collaborate and partner together with you, the customer, across InterVision and Juniper to provide the best experience, and have a QA session as well in the end. So without further ado, let me just get started here. Let's go through a little bit on what is changing in networking. So it's really all about complexity and a lot of different moving sources, moving targets. It's a rapid shift to hybrid services, SaaS models, and remote workforce as well. So what used to be a lot of more static environments with more static users, and also targets that were predominantly in local areas, in local networks and internet. We have now a huge amount of different users, different type of users, different kind of deployment models as well on what customers want to and employees want to access. And then also we have all of different types of movement as well, excuse me, for those customers, for those users there, which really is placing an immense strain on legacy networking infrastructures. And organizations are really facing this increased complexity in the network environment, which is leading to spending significant amount of time on manual configurations, troubleshooting, and just maintaining connectivity. So it's all about spending more time troubleshooting, trying to find out if it's the DNS. In most cases, it's the DNS. Finding out on what is causing bad experience there for customers, for employees, and really making sure that we can improve that experience. IT teams are frequently caught in repetitive, labor-intensive tasks that really consume valuable time and reduce the focus from strategic initiatives. So it's all about how can we get away from all of these manual, repetitive items that keep popping up and focus on what actually has a larger impact for those customers. And with that, I'll shift it over to you, Sudheer. Sorry, just 1 second here. You able to take over?
Yes, thank you, Mikko. So let me share my screen. Let me know if you see my deck. Yes?
We're good.
All good? Okay, super. All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining InterVision and Juniper Mist. My name is Sudheer Matta. I run products here at Juniper's enterprise portfolio. It's my absolute honor to be partnered up with InterVision here. So what I want to start with is really, what is Juniper Mist? Who is this team Mist? Where did we come from? What did we accomplish in the industry? Why should you consider InterVision and Juniper Mist for your network of the next decade? So this is the founding team of Mist. Bob and Sujay founded the company. I run products for Juniper Mist, and then Tom Wilburn, who's a good friend of InterVision here, runs global sales. And so we were all at Cisco running the enterprise business, acquired Meraki into Cisco. And sort of after the acquisition of Meraki, the epiphany was, hey, Meraki was founded before the iPhone was invented. Is there an opportunity to take a clean sheet of paper approach to networking, right? And that was sort of the real driving force here. is, can we have a clean sheet of paper opportunity? And so what were we up against? What were we looking for, right? Most of the time, IT is reacting to, if someone like they're having this video, having a bad Zoom call, IT has no way to triage this and really struggling to get to the bottom of this. And so we said, okay, it's not about having a good connection, but it is about having a great experience. So up is not the same as good and great. And so really focused on user experience and then connecting it end to end, like, saying, hey, is it the device? Is it the wireless network? Is it the switching? Is it the WAN? Or is it the application? Connecting it all the way through. This is the core mission we started with. So really focused on user experience, then started with sort of a clean sheet of paper. And then let me tell you where we are today, right? Today, we sit right on top of the Gartner Magic Quadrant for wired and wireless LAN. It's a $29 billion Magic Quadrant, and Juniper Mist is placed at the very best position of this. And then at the same time, there's a Magic Quadrant for indoor location services, and that's what Juniper is the only networking player who's a leader in that space, and the other networking players, most of them don't even exist, and the ones that exist are niche players on this. So if you think of your enterprise network, your mission of delivering the network of the next decade for your enterprise, and then bring digital transformation and digital experience for employees with location-based services, there really only is one choice in networking, right? And so, that's why we are excited about this. What is our commitment to you when we come to you? What are we talking about? What do we intend to deliver between InterVision plus Juniper here? Three things I want to commit to you in your digital transformation. It'll be the fastest rollout you have ever done in networking if you come with Juniper Mist. We have easy ways to migrate and transform from Cisco or any other networking player. Then the most important thing we do is deliver the absolute best networking experience, right? The fewest tickets in networking. And then last but not least, we deliver the best business outcomes in terms of either location services, automation, and really treating the network as a digital platform and the enterprise as a digital business to engage with, right? So for every one of our customers in the world, we deliver these three things, and with InterVision and us, we have some great joint accounts, and we can talk to what the transformation we've driven there. So what is fundamental here? Fundamental, what did we fundamentally change here? And why are the world's largest networks coming to Juniper Mist, right? If you look at some of even the public logos here, Dartmouth College, doing a campus-wide deployment, George Washington University, ServiceNow, wired wireless SD-WAN NAC, the Gap retail store chain, wireless across the entire board, Seagate. What are these customers seeing? They get four things beyond the three business outcomes: the fastest deployment, fewer tickets, and the best digital transformation. They get four fundamental technology things. We provide visibility at a user level. We've brought AI-driven operations to networking. We've built this on a cloud architecture that's fundamentally microservices and elastic and agile, and then we deliver digital transformation. The underpin to all of this is an open API architecture with many third-party applications that are enabled. We integrate with Teams and Zoom and ServiceNow and Zscaler, Cradlepoint, lots of these applications to bring sort of an end-to-end picture together. The outcomes we drive are absolutely stunning. A mean time to resolution reduction in this place, in this large logistics company, their average time to close a ticket used to be 48 hours. With Juniper Mist, we brought that to 4 hours, a 96% drop. If you could cut out 96% of the time spent in troubleshooting, user open support tickets, what would that mean to you? That's what I want you to factor. In one of the largest retailers, they accelerated their rollout 10x, right? Yeah, at the Gap, we reduced site visits, physically rolling out trucks because of a networking or a Wi-Fi issue by 85%. If you could cut out your carbon footprint, if you can cut out your site triaging by 85%, what would that mean? At ServiceNow, a 90% reduction in user open support tickets. If you could take your current environment and have 90% fewer tickets, what would that mean to your IT team? What would that mean to your users? This is the network of the next decade. What are we talking about here? Juniper Mist operates wireless, switching, SD-WAN, NAC, and provides AI for the data center side. This is a connected cloud architecture for this entire fabric, right? And so a few key things that are in the AI engine called Marvis is we provide a virtual network assistant. I'll show you a demo of this thing, and then also without additional sensors and overlay networks and everything, we are able to essentially provide a digital twinning experience. What does that mean? What that means is, imagine if all of your students go home in the evening, and then you make a firewall config change, and next day morning at 8 a.m., certain students on certain applications can't get to their application or their cloud. How do you find that? How do you proactively find before students come on campus? We have digital twins. The Marvis digital twin is built into the network, no overlay sensors, nothing. Is synthetically testing and orchestrating, reachability and understanding what the network is doing. And so if someone makes a config change, if a WAN link goes down, if your DHCP service goes down, a DNS service is impacted, your radio service is impacted, proactively, even without users on your network, you will get to know the outcomes, right? And then last but not least, how do customers get started with us, right? Basically 60% of our business, 65% of our business comes from a natural organic refresh. That means if you have APs in your ceiling that are, that are sort of at the end of their useful life, think about InterVision and Juniper Mist, right? If you've tapped out, you've built everything you needed to build from your network perspective, but you're building one new building, think InterVision and Juniper Mist. If you have one building that you wish you didn't own because it's the most noisy building, people are always bitching and moaning about that thing, think InterVision and Juniper Mist. We will remediate that network for you. And if you're embarking on a digital transformation, delivering location-based service experience to your customers, think InterVision and Juniper Mist, right? So this is the story. Now, let me actually share with you sort of what does this look like? What does the product look like here, right? And so let me make sure you can see my demo. Is that Mikko? Yes?
Yes, we can see it loud and clear.
Super. Okay, excellent. Very good. So let's actually think about it for a moment here. Basically, in the old world, the network used to be around uptime, right? So when Juniper Mist was founded, we were sitting in customer network operations centers and thinking, okay, and asking the question, listening to calls coming in and asking the question, hey, what's the top 10 issues in Wi-Fi? Obviously, we started as a Wi-Fi business. We've since graduated to a wired, wireless SD-WAN and NAC business with InterVision. But what does the top 10 tickets, if we did all of the analysis, look like? One particular user in South Africa, he said, look, Sudhir, I don't have 10 problems in Wi-Fi. I only have 2 problems in Wi-Fi. I'm like, wow, what a grand oversimplification. What are your top 2 problems in Wi-Fi? Problem number 1, he said, is people call in and say, I can't connect to the network. Well, we've all been there at a Starbucks or an airport. And then the only other problem, he said, is users call in and say, hey, the Wi-Fi sucks. And so we said, if we could put physics behind this Wi-Fi sucks experience, right, wouldn't it be amazing? And so we said, okay, let's go down this path of, why can't a user connect? Maybe his credentials issue, he or she has credentials issues. Maybe it's taking too long to connect because the servers are overloaded, or maybe there's a roaming issue. And if it's an experience issue, imagine, let's say at Seattle Public Schools, they have 3,000 APs, maybe 30,000 devices. You pick any one of those devices and say, what is the experience of this one device in the last 60 seconds? We have the data. We could pick that one device and say, hey, was the device in good coverage, bad coverage? Was the device in good capacity, bad capacity? Were we delivering good performance, bad performance, right? Every user, every minute was the mantra. If you can measure user experience, every user, every minute, then you have the data to understand, are you delivering good user experience? If you're not, why are you not able to deliver good experience, right? So 85%, 82% of the time here, devices are connecting happy and healthy. That sounds good. But what if that 18% is a doctor on a phone call in a surgery? What if that 18% of failure is a student taking an exam? What if that 18% of failure is a CEO on a board meeting, right? That 18% there matters. And so without a single click, and I just zoomed in, 99% of that 18% is maybe radius related. 1% is Wi-Fi, less than 1% is DHCP. So the idea being, the mean time to innocence, how fast can a wireless engineer prove to you that it is not the Wi-Fi? It's not the Wi-Fi all the time. So then let's click in and say, okay, exactly when did problems start? Whom did problems impact? What type of device OSs, device types are impacted here. Maybe it's the Zebra handhelds. Maybe it's the new iPhone. Maybe it's the new iOS update, right? It's not every device. You want to quickly get to exactly what cohort of devices are having an issue. Cisco, Aruba, Meraki, Aerohive, Ruckus, can tell you if somebody's failing 100% of the time. What if you're only failing 1% of the time? Shrikant's MacBook Pro is only failing 1% of the time. I want to know why, right? And so basically, if I have every state transition that Shrikant's MacBook Pro is running through and say, I have 52 bad states here. And oh, by the way, I have a packet capture waiting for me. Imagine, having the video footage of every crime committed in the world. This is the crime scene footage of the crime committed on the network, and we have it for every single failure for every user without having to know which user is going to fail, without having to preset filters, manually config PCAPs, none of that. Dynamic PCAP means it's always on, it's available for every device, and you have to do zero config, right? And it's so then you say, okay, this is great, but I don't have people reading the tea leaves on packet captures, so that's where AI comes in, right? AI will say, there are 2 types of problems on the network, problems that are intrinsic to our system. So as an example, let's say you get InterVision to do a good design. They've done a good design. They've done a good deployment. And then everything is working okay. And suddenly a new neighbor moves into your building and they're blasting their Wi-Fi RF, all over the place. We are able to auto self-detect and self, optimize and self-organize to a better network than any human ever can. Literally take a Cisco network or a Meraki network and have their engineers optimize that network for 1 month. With the Juniper Mist network, have InterVision deployed and then step away from the keyboard. 100% of the time, the Juniper Mist network will self-optimize and self-organize to a better working network than anything our competitors had 30 days to work. Why? Because we have applied AI to orchestrate the best network, right? And so for the first time in the networking industry, if you play chess on your phone, which I do obsessive compulsively, according to my wife, if a human cannot beat a machine in chess anymore, that day has passed. Today, a human CCIE, whatever, blah, 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 on a Cisco, Meraki, Ruckus, Xeris network, extreme network, cannot self-organize and design a better network than the AI on Mist, right? So first, AI-driven network. Second, if it's a problem that's not intrinsic to our system, but extraneous to our system, right? Then we apply AI to tell you. Again, we don't talk directly to the DHCP service or the DNS service, but we can tell, because every packet goes through a Mist AP or a Mist switch. We observe the packets and we say, aha, your DHCP server went out to lunch and is not serving clients, right? Your Radius server is having an issue and not able to service clients, right? So we've genuinely applied AI to provide actionable insight. Literally to the extent that we have a conversational assistant where you could say, hey, show me who's having a bad Wi-Fi day today, because most Wi-Fi users, they're not Wi-Fi savvy. They don't know what a MAC address is. They don't know where to even start. So they just call in and say, hey, my Wi-Fi sucks. And you could ask Marvis, who are the unhappy users today, and say, okay, give me a recommendation of what I'm supposed to do with this user. And this is the power of AI at your fingertips. Now, you could take this another level with Marvis Minis and run the validation, the network validation, continuously saying, hey, okay, everything looks great, but something happened right there. I want to know what failed on what network for this device, right? And so essentially, I want to understand if it's okay across all these systems, right? Across all these VLANs on these APs, all the DHCP, DNS, Radius servers are good. But from this device, I'm not able to reach my application. Google has failed. So continuously validating your network with no additional hardware, no additional software, no agents on your devices, just the network as a digital platform for digital twinning is game changing. And then last but not least, we've actually connected even the application data. And so basically, we've connected Teams and Zoom data to the Mist cloud. And so for the first time, you could say, hey, 5,400 good Teams minutes this week. That means every user, every minute, we look at their Teams experience and say, was it a good minute or a bad minute? And then you can immediately find out, who's had some bad calls? And so, Sunalini's MacBook Pro has some terrible, Teams calls. And then, essentially you look and say, okay, what's going on with her device? What applications? We have a bad WAN link during that exact time this call was happening, right? So for the first time in the industry, collecting, collating, and curating Teams and Zoom data with the network data, putting it adjacent to each other and telling you what was causing it, this is game changing. So everything we do for wireless, we also do for switching. I'm hoping you've seen enough here to be intrigued to ask for a meeting with InterVision and Juniper Mist. And so all of the AI for wireless, we apply for switching. The same two questions: why can't a wired device connect? And if it is connected, why is the experience not good? Same thing we do for the WAN. Is my WAN link happy and healthy? If my WAN link is happy and healthy, why are my applications suffering? So essentially, wired, wireless, SD-WAN, and NAC natively built into a singular cloud. This is the best cloud in the industry today, and so partnered up with InterVision, we could truly transform your network. With that, Mikko, I'm going to turn it back to you on how can someone get their hands on this gear.
Perfect, Sudhir. I love that powerful demo there. I wish I would have used that analogy of the crime scene in networking. We could have had this branded as crime scene investigators networking, Sudhir and Mikko. Like, anyways, I'll leave that for the sequel. So, how do we best help you transform this networking and really collaborate with InterVision and Juniper here and Marvis, the assistant really there and Mist. Um, we can really help on InterVision side with every step of your network transformation journey to Juniper Mist AI. So we can provide you assessments. We can really plan together on how to best understand what you have and what are the right steps to take for your particular network environment. We can provide that deployment, that integration for the seamless setup and integration overall. Of course, the onboarding and support as well as the managed services to ensure you have peak performance and reliability on your entire journey. So we can leverage the full potential of AI native networking for your enterprise. And this is really powerful, like you saw on Sudhir's presentation and the demo there. It's really tangible benefits you get from AI overall. And it's really helpful. It's taking care of that management burden, administration burden, and really helping you understand what are the key problem areas in networks and helping mitigate those with the information it has, with the AI it has, and using things like, for example, that Marvis Mini, that virtual person in the network that provides already information about potential problems before they actually arise. So these are really powerful technologies there. So really happy to go through that. There is also a promo. Actually, Sudhir, you're probably the best person to go through this promo here on what do we actually have available right now with Experience AI on us.
This is AI on us is our very best offer for InterVision customers, which is really for about $10,000 you get 40 Wi-Fi 6E access points. The access points are yours to keep. I mean, that basically is less than the price of a home AP on a per AP basis. So for $10,000, 40 APs with all subscriptions. For net new customers, if you want to try a building's worth of Wi-Fi, that's just $10,000 through InterVision, and of course we can apply similar kind of discounting on switches or WAN routers. You can mix and match any combination, as you can see. But we are very eager. Give us your worst building. Give us your building that you're having issues on wired or wireless or WAN, and we will transform it for you. So that's so we just wanted to give you a smoking offer today that basically, less than the cost of a home AP, you're getting an enterprise AP to keep yours permanently. As long as it has subscriptions, it'll be fully functional. So anyway, great offer. I would, the next purchase you were going to make on Wi-Fi or switching or SD-WAN, I urge you to please consider using this AI on us offer. Get a building worth going testing with InterVision and us. So, all right, Mikko, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Sudhir. I'm just quickly going to go through we have a couple of minutes left on the QA window here on questions we have. We do have a couple here. This one is for you, Sudhir. There's a question about, do we need to have this entire network first on Juniper gear before you can use any of this functionality, or can it work on hybrid vendor equipment?
Yeah, so actually, great question. You could start with Juniper Mist on just any one of the four pillars here, right? Wireless, we could, your network, though, your wired network could be some other vendor other than Juniper, and we'd fully interoperate, right? So the wireless network you could buy by itself, fully interoperate. In fact, even at UMass Amherst, they would deploy half a building, half a floor with Mist, and then at 5 o'clock the students would time out and then finish the deployment the next day. it's okay. We can seamlessly exist and coexist between existing wireless networks and Juniper Mist, and of course with the existing switching infrastructure. So if all you have is new Ethernet switching you're buying, you can start there. SD-WAN, you can start there, or even our NAC is multi-vendor, you can start there. So so absolutely no reason to upheave everything, or even even if you say I want to try wireless, you don't even have to do a full building. Honestly, you could do half a building and just get a flavor of it, and it'll still safely coexist with your existing network. We've done this so many times.
Perfect. And I know we're at time. I want to ask this. This is a good question. I want to have a quick answer from you, as quick as we can, on this one. How comfortable am I investing in Juniper with the HPE acquisition looming? It's just, I don't know if we can make it.
Yeah. No, actually, very good question. Look, at the end of the day, the logos I've shown you is the largest customers in every vertical have migrated to or are migrating to Juniper Mist. Truly across retail, healthcare, higher ed, enterprise, and manufacturing. The largest networks are on Juniper Mist. So HPE is acquiring Juniper for AI-driven innovation. That's the title of the press release, and we see a bright future for the Juniper Mist portfolio within HPE umbrella. The acquisition is pending, so we can't make any more statements than that. But Juniper Mist customers should feel extremely secure buying this portfolio and product as the next network for the next decade, because truly the largest networks in the world are running on this thing, and so this portfolio isn't going away anytime soon.
Great, perfect. Thank you so much, Sudheer, for that information, and thank you everybody for participating in this webinar. Really looking forward on collaborating with you on the next steps there. So feel free to reach out to us at InterVision, to Juniper for next steps on your journey, and we'll be lucky to and happy to work with you. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Thank you, Mikko. Thank you, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks.